Okay, we're going to try recording this to the best of my ability. Traction troubles. It was summertime on the island of Sodor. All of the engines were working very hard. All of the farmers were harvesting their crops to send to the market. Trevor is a traction engine who lives at the orchard. He helps with the farm work, but sometimes he doesn't have enough to do. One day at the vicar's orchard, Trevor and the vicar were collecting apples to send to the market, when Edward arrived at the crossing with a goods train full of fresh fruits and vegetables. The signal was raised at danger, and he had to stop. "Good morning, Trevor, vicar. You have quite the load of apples today, Trevor." "Yes, indeed, Edward. They ripened a bit early this year," replied the vicar. "This is my second cart of apples today," said Trevor. I wonder why the signal's down. I hope someone isn't in trouble down the line." "Oh, I don't think so," said Trevor. "I think it's just probably some delay." Just then, Thomas arrived at the crossing. "Hello, everyone." "Oh my, Edward, that is quite the long train you have there." "Yes, it's full of fresh fruits and vegetables for the market. By any chance, did you happen to see what was wrong down the line?" "As a matter of fact," said Thomas, "yes, I did. The wind has blown a piece of the vicar's fence onto your line. Some farm workers are working to clear it." "At least no one was hurt," said Edward. "And you, Thomas, that's some interesting cargo you have there. What is it?" "Oh, it's most interesting indeed," said Thomas. "I have 3 horses for the carousel at the summer festival opening today, as well as a crate of balloons." "That is interesting," chuckled Edward. "Be careful with the wind. You don't want your balloons to blow away." "Don't be silly, Edward," replied Thomas. "They aren't inflated yet." "I was only joking, Thomas," laughed Edward. "You two are lucky with such deliveries," said Trevor. "I wish I could deliver something more interesting than just apples, or go to the festival too, but I'm stuck here at the orchard." "Every job is important," said Thomas. Just then, Thomas's signal dropped. "I must be off now. Goodbye, Edward. Goodbye, Trevor. See you later, Vicar," replied Thomas, as he puffed away. "I still wish something interesting would happen," said Trevor. "I could at least visit the festival and give children rides. I like company, especially children's company." "Be careful what you wish for. Nature has a strange way with granting wishes," said Edward. Finally, Edward's signal dropped. It was time for him to leave. "Goodbye, Trevor. Goodbye, Vicar." And Edward puffed away. Just then, one of the vicar's farm workers ran up. "Vicar, you're wanted on the telephone." "Oh, excuse me, Trevor. Don't go anywhere while I'm gone," said the vicar. "I can't," said Trevor sorely. The vicar and the farm worker disappeared from sight. But then there was trouble. A sudden gust of wind blew seemingly from nowhere, and knocked an apple loose from the tree above Trevor. The apple knocked into Trevor's brake, and Trevor began to roll away. "Help!" cried Trevor, but no one was around to hear Trevor's cry. He rolled over the level crossing and was coming up to a 3-way junction. Without the vicar driving him, he had no way of turning. "I'm going to hit the bushes!" cried Trevor. Trevor shut his eyes and braced for impact, when suddenly another gust of wind blew. The 2 largest trees in front of Trevor were uprooted and crashed down at the junction. Suddenly, Trevor felt himself turning. "Wait a second, I'm turning?" puzzled Trevor. "This is quite different, but I do need to stop. I won't be so lucky next time." Trevor came to the end of that straight road soon enough. The road turned again. Oh dear, I'm about to be in for a rough stop," cried Trevor. Bother! Trevor's wheels left the dirt road with a mighty crunch. Off the side of the road was a steep embankment. Trevor rolled helplessly down through the thick trees. When Trevor was in the open again, he was at the festival. Trevor came to stop in a pile of coal beside the carousel. "Stopped at last," groaned Trevor. He was very exhausted. "Hello, Trevor," said Thomas. "On an adventure, are you?" Trevor said nothing. He was very out of breath. "Trevor," asked Edward, "where is the vicar?" "Orchard," panted Trevor. "I think I had best fetch him," said Edward as he puffed away. Edward soon arrived again with the vicar. "Trevor, you gave me such a fright when you weren't at the orchard under the apple tree. I guess you finally got your adventure, though," laughed the vicar. "The phone call I received was by the festival manager. You're to be the special attraction at the summer festival. Are you still up for it?" Children gathered around Trevor at this information. "Please, Trevor," shouted the children, "we want to ride with you." "Of course, we mustn't disappoint the children," said Trevor. So Trevor was cleaned up, and soon a flatbed was brought for the children to ride on. It wasn't long before the festival came to a close. At the festival's closing, Edward arrived to take the children home. "Edward," asked Trevor, "I think I enjoy the orchard more than I thought. A change is nice, but you don't know how much you miss the familiar until its safety is risked." "Well, you certainly had quite the adventure today," said Edward. "Sometimes a change is what you need to appreciate what you already have." Just then the god blew his whistle. It was time for Edward to leave. "Goodbye, Trevor. Rest well tonight." "Bye, Edward," shouted Trevor. "Same to you." Just then, the vicar walked up to Trevor. "Okay, Trevor, it's time to head home." That evening, Trevor stood, remembering his home in the orchard, his adventure, and most of all, the children. Then he went happily to sleep in the shed at the bottom of the orchard.